Based on the historical data and forecast, Bitcoin has shown considerable volatility with a general upward trend, bouncing between support and resistance levels. The RSI consistently indicates oversold conditions, frequently dipping below 40. The Bollinger Bands suggest that the price is currently near the lower band, indicating a potential for a rebound. Therefore, I recommend a long position strategy. The entry price will be $105,300. The stop-loss price will be set at $104,300 to protect against a potential downward trend. The initial target price will be $108,500, aligning with the forecast price for November 1, 2025, and the middle Bollinger Band. To refine this strategy, we'll incorporate a dynamic target price adjustment based on the RSI and Bollinger Bands. If the RSI reaches 60, consider taking partial profits at $109,400. If the price touches the upper Bollinger Band, consider taking partial profits at $109,900. This layered approach allows us to capitalize on the anticipated upward momentum while mitigating risk. This strategy combines the oversold RSI signal with the Bollinger Band's potential rebound, creating a high-probability trading opportunity with clearly defined risk management parameters. Based on the historical data and forecast, Ethereum shows a mixed trend with periods of both upward and downward movement. The RSI consistently fluctuates around the 40 to 50 range, indicating neither strong bullish nor bearish momentum. However, the forecast data suggests a potential slight downward trend in the short term. Considering the support level at $3,800 and the resistance at $4,150, I recommend a cautious strategy focused on short-term opportunities. We will use a combined strategy of RSI and Bollinger Bands to maximize efficiency. The entry price will be $3,810 when the price touches the bottom of the Bollinger Bands and the RSI is below 40. The stop-loss price will be set at $3,780 to protect against a potential downward breakout. The initial target price will be $3,940, aligning with the forecast price and a conservative profit target. If the price reaches $3,940, we will move the stop-loss to the entry price of $3,810 to secure profits. If the price continues to rise, the final target price will be $4,000. This strategy combines the predictive power of the Bollinger Bands with the momentum signals from the RSI, providing a balanced approach to capitalize on short-term price fluctuations while managing risk effectively. Based on the historical data and forecast, XRP shows a slight upward trend with periods of consolidation. The RSI consistently fluctuates around the oversold level of 20, indicating potential buying opportunities. The Bollinger Bands show that the price is currently near the lower band, suggesting a possible bounce. I recommend a combined strategy incorporating all three indicators. First, we'll initiate a long position when the RSI dips below 30 and the price touches the support level of $2.36. The entry price will be $2.36. To manage risk, place a stop-loss order at $2.25, just below the lower Bollinger Band. For the target price, we'll aim for the resistance level of $2.85, offering a substantial profit margin. To refine the strategy, we'll incorporate the forecast data. The forecast predicts a stable price around $2.46 to $2.42 over the next week. Therefore, we can adjust the target price to $2.51, a more achievable goal given the current market conditions. This combined strategy leverages the RSI's oversold signals, Bollinger Band's volatility indicators, and support and resistance levels for a balanced approach. The final portfolio will consist of a long position with an entry price of $2.36, a stop-loss price of $2.25, and a target price of $2.51. This strategy provides a high return opportunity while mitigating potential losses. Based on the historical data and forecast, BNB shows a fluctuating trend, with support at $1,060 and resistance at $1,130. The RSI values are generally between 45 and 53, indicating neither overbought nor oversold conditions. However, the Bollinger Bands suggest potential volatility. The forecast for the next week indicates a slight upward trend, with prices fluctuating between $10.80 and $11.30. Considering these factors, I recommend a moderately bullish strategy. We will enter a long position when the RSI drops below 50 and the price touches the lower band of the Bollinger Bands. Specifically, let's initiate a long position at $1,080. Place a stop-loss order at $1,060, just below the support level, to limit potential losses. Set a target price at $1,130, aligning with the resistance level. This strategy combines RSI and Bollinger Band signals to capitalize on short-term price fluctuations while managing risk. If the RSI rises above 80, consider taking profits or reducing position size. This portfolio aims for a balance between potential gains and risk mitigation, suitable for a moderate risk tolerance. Based on the historical data and forecast, Solana exhibits a slightly upward trend with periods of consolidation. The RSI consistently remains below 80, indicating that the asset is not currently overbought. However, the recent readings around 46 to 50 suggest a potential for a short-term upward push. Considering the support at $193 and the forecast prices hovering around $186 to $188, I recommend a strategy combining RSI and Bollinger Bands. I propose an entry at $186, placing a stop-loss at $184 to mitigate potential downside risk. The initial target price should be $191, aiming to capture a modest profit from the anticipated upward movement. To enhance the strategy, we can incorporate Bollinger Bands. If the price breaks above the upper band, it signals a strong bullish momentum, prompting a re-evaluation of the target price. Conversely, if the price touches the lower band, it reinforces the oversold condition, potentially triggering a buy signal. Therefore, if the forecast price reaches $186, I suggest a buy order at $186 with a stop-loss at $184 and a target price of $191. If the price breaks through the upper Bollinger Band, increase the target price to $194. If the price touches the lower Bollinger Band, consider a buy order at $186 with a stop-loss at $184 and a target price of $191. This combined approach leverages both technical indicators for a more robust investment decision. Based on the historical data and forecast, Dogecoin shows a slight downward trend. The price has been fluctuating within a range of $0.172 to $0.2. The RSI consistently remains below 50, indicating a generally weak momentum. The forecast for the next week suggests a continued downward pressure, with prices hovering around $0.18 to $0.19. Considering these factors, I propose a short-term contrarian strategy focused on capitalizing on potential short-term bounces while managing downside risk. My strategy involves a tiered approach incorporating RSI, Bollinger Bands, and support/resistance levels. First, when the price touches the bottom of the Bollinger Bands, around $0.181, enter a long position. Set a stop-loss slightly below the bottom of the Bollinger Bands at $0.178. The initial target price is the resistance level at $0.2. If the price reaches $0.2, consider moving the stop-loss to the entry price, $0.181, to secure profits and protect against a reversal. If the price continues to rise, a second target price can be set at $0.211, based on the upper Bollinger Band from the past. This strategy aims to capture quick profits from short-term bounces while minimizing risk with well-defined stop-loss levels. Based on the historical data and forecast, TRON demonstrates a downtrend with consistent support around $0.295 and fluctuating resistance. The RSI consistently dips below 50, indicating weakening momentum and occasional oversold conditions below 30. The Bollinger Bands are narrowing, suggesting decreasing volatility. Considering these factors, I recommend a contrarian strategy focusing on short-term bounces after oversold conditions. Specifically, I suggest entering a long position when the RSI drops below 20. For example, if the RSI reaches 18 on November 1, 2025, enter a long position at $0.293. Set a stop-loss slightly below the support level at $0.292 to limit potential losses. Aim for a target price near the recent resistance level, around $0.3, for a potential gain of $0.007. If the price fails to reach the target and starts to decline, exit the position at $0.295. This strategy prioritizes capitalizing on short-term rebounds while mitigating risk with a conservative stop loss. Based on the historical data and forecast, Cardano exhibits a downtrend, especially considering the forecast prices for the next week. The RSI consistently remains below 50, hovering around the oversold level of 30 to 45, indicating potential weakness. The Bollinger Bands are narrowing, which often precedes a significant price movement. Given this, I propose a contrarian strategy focusing on short-term opportunities. We will implement a combined RSI and Bollinger Band strategy. First, initiate a long position when the RSI dips below 30 and the price touches the lower Bollinger Band. For example, if the price reaches $0.601, enter a long position at $0.601. Set a stop loss just below the lower Bollinger Band at $0.595 to limit potential losses. Target a price near the middle Bollinger Band, approximately $0.676, to capture a quick profit. If the price continues to fall, we will close the position at $0.55. This strategy aims to capitalize on short-term bounces while acknowledging the overall bearish trend. The focus is on quick in and out trades to maximize returns in a volatile market. Based on the historical data and forecast, Wrapped Beacon ETH has shown volatility with a recent upward trend, bouncing off the support price of $4,100. The RSI consistently remains below 80, indicating that the asset is not currently overbought. The Bollinger Bands have been widening, suggesting increased market volatility. Considering the forecast for the next week, with prices fluctuating around $4,100 to $4,260, I recommend a cautious long position strategy. We'll enter a long position at $4,120, placing a stop-loss order at $4,100 to protect against a potential downturn. The initial target price will be $4,260, aiming to capture a short-term gain. To maximize potential returns, we will implement a dynamic target price strategy. If the price reaches $4,260, we will move the stop loss to the entry price of $4,120, securing the initial profit. If the price continues to rise, we will set a second target price at $4,480, the previous resistance level. This strategy combines RSI, Bollinger Bands, and support/resistance levels to optimize risk-reward ratios, aiming for high returns while managing potential losses effectively. The overall portfolio will prioritize this long position due to its strong potential based on the current market conditions. Based on the historical data and forecast, Chainlink demonstrates a fluctuating trend with a clear support level at $16.8 and a resistance level at $24.7. The RSI consistently remains below 80, suggesting the asset is not consistently overbought. Considering the forecast for the next week, the price is expected to hover around $17.1 to $17.7. I recommend a long position strategy utilizing the Bollinger Bands and RSI indicators. The entry price should be $17.1, coinciding with the forecast price and the lower Bollinger Band. The stop loss should be set at $16.8, just below the support level, to mitigate potential losses. The target price is $18.6, aligning with the previous resistance level. To refine this strategy, we can incorporate RSI signals. When the RSI dips below 30, indicating an oversold condition, it presents a favorable entry point. Conversely, when the RSI exceeds 70, suggesting an overbought scenario, it signals a potential exit or shorting opportunity. Given the current RSI values, we are in a favorable position for a long entry. The strategy combines the support and resistance levels, Bollinger Bands, and RSI signals to maximize potential returns while minimizing risk. This approach provides a balanced and adaptable framework for navigating the market dynamics of Chainlink. Based on the historical data and forecast, Litecoin shows a fluctuating trend with a recent upward momentum. The RSI consistently remained below 80, indicating that the asset is not currently in overbought territory. However, the RSI has been trending upwards, nearing the 50 mark, suggesting a potential shift towards a bullish sentiment. The Bollinger Bands indicate periods of volatility, with the price occasionally touching the lower band, signifying potential oversold conditions. Considering these factors, I propose a strategy that combines RSI and Bollinger Bands to capitalize on potential upward movements. My strategy involves a buy position when the RSI dips below 35 and the price touches the lower Bollinger Band. Specifically, I recommend entering a long position at $96.0+. Given the support price of $91.7+, I'll set a stop loss at $91.7+, to limit potential losses. The forecast suggests a stable price around $96+ in the coming week. Therefore, I'll set a target price at $97.5+, aiming for a moderate gain. This strategy balances risk and reward, leveraging both technical indicators to identify favorable entry points and manage potential downsides. Based on the historical data and forecast, Ether.fi shows a clear downtrend. The RSI consistently remains below 50, indicating a bearish momentum, with dips below 30, suggesting oversold conditions. The Bollinger Bands are contracting, which often precedes a significant price movement. The forecast for the next week predicts continued downward pressure, with prices dropping to $0.818. Given this analysis, I recommend a short selling strategy. We will enter a short position at $0.932. The stop loss will be placed slightly above the recent resistance level at $1.04, setting it at $1.05 to avoid being prematurely stopped out by short-term volatility. The target price will be set at $0.818, aligning with the forecast price and capitalizing on the anticipated downtrend. To refine this strategy, we will incorporate RSI signals. If the RSI rises above 50, indicating a potential trend reversal, we will close the position and reevaluate. Additionally, if the price touches the support level of $0.948, we will consider tightening the stop loss to $0.96 to protect profits. The portfolio will prioritize the short selling strategy based on the forecast and technical indicators, with adjustments made based on real-time RSI and support levels. This approach aims to maximize returns while managing risk effectively in the current bearish market conditions. Based on the historical data and forecast, Lido DAO shows a mixed trend with periods of consolidation and upward movement. The support price remains consistently at $0.863, while the resistance fluctuates around $1.09. The RSI indicates that the asset is generally in neutral territory, occasionally dipping into oversold conditions below 40. The Bollinger Bands suggest periods of volatility, with prices frequently touching or crossing the upper and lower bands. Considering these factors, I propose a combined strategy leveraging RSI, Bollinger Bands, and support/resistance levels. The primary strategy will be a momentum-based approach with a focus on short-term price swings. We will initiate a long position when the RSI dips below 30, indicating an oversold condition. For example, if the RSI falls to 28, we enter a long position at $0.873. The stop loss will be set just below the support level at $0.85. The initial target price will be the nearest resistance level, $0.903. If the price reaches this target, we will reevaluate based on the RSI and Bollinger Bands. If the RSI is still below 50 and the price is near the lower Bollinger Band, we will set a new target price at $0.924. Conversely, if the RSI is approaching 80 or the price is near the upper Bollinger Band, we will consider taking profits or adjusting the stop loss to protect gains. This dynamic approach aims to capitalize on short-term momentum while mitigating risk through strategic stop loss placement and target adjustments. Based on the historical data and forecast, Pudgy Penguins exhibits a downtrend, supported by the declining forecast prices. The RSI consistently remains below 50, indicating a bearish sentiment. The forecast prices predict a continuous decline, reaching as low as $0.0185. Considering these factors, I propose a short selling strategy. The entry price will be set at $0.0198, aligning with the initial forecast price and capitalizing on the anticipated downward movement. A stop loss will be placed at $0.0211, just above the recent high, to limit potential losses if the price unexpectedly reverses. The target price is set at $0.0185, coinciding with the lowest forecast price, aiming for a substantial profit. To refine the strategy, we'll incorporate the Bollinger Bands. The price consistently trading near the lower band reinforces the downtrend. We will also use RSI as a confirmation. If the RSI falls below 20, it indicates an oversold condition, and we should consider covering our short position. Conversely, if the RSI reaches 80, it suggests an overbought condition, and we should consider exiting the position. The combined strategy offers a robust approach, blending trend analysis, forecast data, and technical indicators to maximize potential returns while mitigating risk. The portfolio will prioritize short selling, with adjustments based on RSI signals and Bollinger Bands behavior. Based on the historical data and forecast, Hedera demonstrates a clear upward trend. The price has consistently been bouncing off the support level of $0.165, and the forecast indicates continued growth. The RSI values have been increasing, moving from 34.6 to 57.3, suggesting strengthening momentum. The Bollinger Bands are widening, indicating increased volatility and potential for larger price movements. Therefore, I recommend a long position strategy, capitalizing on the bullish momentum. Specifically, I suggest entering a long position at $0.183 on October 30, 2025. Given the recent RSI readings approaching overbought territory, a stop-loss order should be placed slightly below the support level at $0.165, say $0.162. For the target price, I anticipate a move towards the resistance level of $0.208, so a target price of $0.205 would be appropriate. This strategy combines the trend analysis, RSI signals, and Bollinger Bands to maximize potential returns while managing risk. This portfolio is the most efficient of the three strategies. Based on the historical data and forecast, EIGEN Eigenlayer demonstrates a downtrend with increasing volatility. The price has been fluctuating around the support level of $1.04, and the forecast suggests further decline towards $0.953. The RSI consistently remains below 50, indicating a bearish sentiment, with periods of oversold conditions below 36. The Bollinger Bands show widening bands, confirming the increased volatility. Considering these factors, I recommend a short selling strategy. We will enter a short position at $1.09, placing a stop-loss order at $1.16 to limit potential losses if the price rebounds. The initial target price will be $0.975, aligning with the forecast. To refine the strategy, we'll incorporate RSI and Bollinger Band signals. When the RSI dips below 36, indicating an oversold condition, and the price touches the lower band of the Bollinger Bands, it strengthens the short selling signal. If this condition occurs, we will enter a short position at $1.04. The stop-loss will be set at $1.08, and the target price will be $0.953. This combined approach leverages both technical indicators to improve the precision of our entry and exit points, maximizing potential returns while managing risk effectively. Based on the historical data and forecast, World Liberty Financial shows a mixed trend with periods of consolidation and upward movement. The support price consistently remains at $0.136, while the resistance fluctuates. The RSI readings generally hover around the oversold level, indicating potential buying opportunities. The Bollinger Bands have been contracting recently, suggesting a period of low volatility followed by a potential breakout. Considering these factors, I propose a strategy focusing on capitalizing on potential upward movements while mitigating downside risk. My recommended strategy is a combination of RSI and Bollinger Band signals. We will initiate a long position when the RSI dips below 30 and the price touches the bottom of the Bollinger Bands. Specifically, let's enter a long position at $0.131. To manage risk, we'll set a stop-loss order at $0.129, just below the bottom Bollinger Band. Our target price will be $0.148, aligning with the recent resistance level. This strategy aims to capture potential gains from a rebound off the oversold condition and the lower Bollinger Band, while the stop-loss protects against significant losses if the price continues to decline. Based on the historical data and forecast, Maple Finance demonstrates a slight upward trend with periods of volatility. The RSI readings fluctuate between 40 and 60, indicating neither strong overbought nor oversold conditions consistently. However, the forecast for the next week suggests a potential continuation of this upward trend, with prices hovering around $0.39 to $0.41. Considering the support price of $0.376 and resistance of $0.438, a strategy focusing on short-term gains within this range appears reasonable. I propose a combined strategy leveraging RSI and Bollinger Bands, prioritizing entries near the bottom Bollinger Band and targeting the resistance level. Specifically, I recommend initiating a long position when the price touches the bottom Bollinger Band, which was $0.321 on October 29, 2025. Set a stop-loss order at the support price of $0.376 to mitigate potential losses if the price reverses. The target price should be set near the resistance level of $0.438. If the RSI reaches an oversold level of 20, consider a secondary entry at $0.382, with a stop-loss at $0.369 and a target price of $0.411. This portfolio combines the strengths of both strategies, offering a balance between risk and reward. The expected profit from the first strategy is $0.438 plus $0.321 is equal to $0.117, and the expected profit from the second strategy is $0.411 plus $0.382 is equal to $0.029. Based on the historical data and forecast, Zcash demonstrates a strong upward trend. The price has consistently climbed, with recent days showing significant gains. The forecast for the next week predicts further increases, reaching $376. Considering the RSI values, which have mostly been above 50 and peaked above 70, the asset is approaching overbought territory, but the upward momentum suggests potential for continued gains. We will implement a combined strategy leveraging RSI and Bollinger Bands to maximize returns. Our primary strategy will be a long position with an entry price of $315. The stop-loss will be set at $306, just below the lower Bollinger Band to protect against unexpected pullbacks. The initial target price is $349, aligning with the first forecast price. If the price reaches $349, we will move the stop-loss to $333, securing partial profits and reducing risk. The final target price is $376, based on the last forecast price, offering a substantial return. This combined strategy aims to capitalize on the strong upward trend while mitigating potential losses through dynamic stop-loss adjustments. Based on the historical data and forecast, official TRON shows a strong upward trend. The price has been consistently increasing, breaking through resistance levels, and the forecast for the next week predicts continued growth. The RSI has crossed above 50, indicating a bullish momentum, and the Bollinger Bands are expanding, suggesting increased volatility and potential for further price movement. Considering this, I recommend a long position strategy. We will enter a long position at $6.93. The stop-loss will be set at $6.58, just below the lower Bollinger Band to protect against unexpected downturns. The initial target price will be $8.32, aligning with the forecast high for the week. To refine this strategy, we will incorporate RSI signals. If the RSI drops below 30, indicating an oversold condition, we will consider adding to our position at the prevailing price. Conversely, if the RSI reaches 80, signaling an overbought condition, we will consider taking partial profits and tightening our stop-loss. The final target price will be $8.3, coinciding with the support price and the upper Bollinger Band. This blended approach, combining trend analysis, Bollinger Bands, and RSI signals, should provide a high probability, high reward investment opportunity.